Marjorie Taylor Greene has left MAGA.
She's left MAGA as well.
Yeah, well, no, not that she left MAGA, but she's dropped out of politics for some time. Okay, so her role as a lawmaker to help Americans, especially her MAGA supporters, she'll have to help them in another form. But it seemed to me that there wasn't even really a battle for MAGA with her and Trump, because I think Trump abandoned the MAGA movement as soon as he was reelected. And that's going to be our theme today. I think he lost interest. And I think that for Trump, the MAGA thing was just a way to get elected. Then when he lost the first time, he still had to rely on MAGA. And once he got it in his agenda, and his agenda is focused on his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who's a Jewish guy, staunch Jewish guy, and is a realist person. And I think Jared Kushner is the one determining all of Trump's policies and is focusing on him continually helping Israel continue its genocide in Palestine so that they can eventually get all of that real estate and he can build it. And also because he's a devout Jewish person, he's really a Zionist, also help his dream of what the Israelites really want is for Israel to be free from the river to the sea and for Palestine to be under the ground or go to Egypt or somewhere else. So I think he's the person that's controlling Trump. And I think that Trump's daughter marrying him was just a power move for Trump to get money through real estate, because Jared Kushner is a real estate person. Second of all, he's pushing for a solution to this Ukraine-Russia war, but I think he wants to make money off of the reconstruction. So I think he has Trump's ear. And I think even with things like Venezuela and stuff, with oil and everything, I think what he's doing is getting Trump to make policies that are international, whether it's bombing Iran or whatever, which is part of his total view, which is twofold. He's a Zionist, therefore he hates Iran. And also he's a real estate person, so therefore he wants to profit off of conflicts around the world and the reconstruction. So I think that's where Trump is right now. And Trump has forgotten his MAGA people, and he doesn't care if they say, oh, you let us down, because Trump's whole point of getting into office was to become known, to win a Nobel Peace Prize, and through deals with Jared Kushner, who's a real estate person like Trump, to make millions off of everything. And Marjorie Taylor Greene called Trump out on that. And Trump said, oh, don't mind her, she's deranged. And then when she said Trump met with the president of Syria, who's a known enemy of America from the past and a known terrorist, Trump said, well, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm dealing with him for American security. This goes against what he said when he was coming into office, in that America needs to become isolationist and not worry about wars all over the world because these people aren't a threat to us. I mean, there's more nuance in that, because he killed General Soleimani, but in general, he came into office promising no more wars and no more foreign intervention, but he upped the genocide in Israel. Then he now said we're going to go to war with Venezuela. He helped pump money into Haiti. And just in general, he hasn't focused on one issue domestically. So we could even forgive him for his international bullshit, but there's a lot of billions of dollars that's going to Israel and billions of dollars going to Ukraine. I'll give him credit. He wants to end that. The main problem is AIPAC and Israel. I think they own him, and he's not focusing on domestic issues, because in order for America to really solve its domestic issues, tariffs won't help. They just cause inflation. You'd have to have tariffs. And at the same time, when you're putting tariffs, you have to put American revenue back into infrastructure, so that once the tariffs for foreign companies are around, domestic companies can boost their production. But that means you would need grants and bonds from the U.S. government. But those are going to Israel, and also they're going to his friends in Argentina, who he gave $40 billion. Marjorie Taylor Greene was watching all this and saw him shut down the government, saw people lose Obamacare, and she said, I'm not for this. And basically, he pushed so much rhetoric until she felt that her life was threatened. And so she stepped out of politics, because even though he didn't do it directly, he demonized her and intimidated her subtly. This coming during an era in which Charlie Kirk was killed. And a lot of people believe that Kushner, I'm not saying that Kushner was behind it, but Kushner was bullying him and saying he needs to come to Israel so he can be deprogrammed. And days later, he gets killed. I'm not saying Kushner is involved, but even if Kushner is not involved, that type of rhetoric led to the death of Charlie Kirk.
Yes, it festers.
I'm not saying Kushner is involved, but when Kushner, who's a powerful Zionist, is telling you need to be reprogrammed, it doesn't mean he's involved in it, but it means that the atmosphere around you is dangerous. And I think Marjorie Taylor Greene could feel that. So the point of our story here is that I think Trump and Kushner are in this government because Kushner is not really, he's not an elected official or in the cabinet, but he's basically Trump's right hand man. Trump's brother-in-law, son-in-law is his right hand man, and is giving. What does Kushner know? Why is Kushner involved in the 28 plan for the 28-point plan for Israel, and not Israel, for Ukraine versus
for
Russia?
Ukraine.
Yeah, he's not a
It's basically a
geopolitical analyst.
surrender.
Yeah,
That's basically a surrender to Russia.
Yeah, but also it's a surrender. But here's the thing: he wants to profit off of it by the reconstruction. But my point being is that he's not able to deal with this because in order to work out this negotiation, you have to make Ukraine and Europe think like they get something too. Now, here's the funny point, and here's what might break the deal: Kushner and Trump are saying that Russia has to pay for it with the $100 billion that the U.S. seized from them. Do you see what I'm saying? That $100 billion is going to go to
basically going to thief money from them.
Yeah, but that money is going to go to Kushner and those guys for the reconstruction. So that's also undermining the process, because if you were going to be a fair negotiator, you would never tell Russia that it has to use its money. You actually should give them back their money, which was stolen from them illegally. So in general, it looks like, I'm just going to end with this. It just looks like Trump has no concern about the MAGA people. He's probably laughing at them. And also the MAGA people, I'm very surprised at them because they haven't turned on him yet. They're in denial. It's very clear that he used and abused them. He even said that he hates, not that he hates, but he dissed Mamdani and everything, that he met with Mamdani. What do you think your MAGA people are thinking? You call Mamdani a communist, he's this and that. And I also say the same thing for Mamdani. You call Trump fascist, but you met with him. Do you get my point? So this goes to American politics, in which whether you're Mamdani or Trump, you just tell your followers what they want to hear. Then when you get what you want, you don't care. Last thing before I go, that's what they have videotapes of George Bush Jr. doing the same thing, laughing, saying, "I'm not even Christian." Remember when he used Christianity to become elected, Bush, and he was laughing. I'm not. So in other words, these people pretend to be Christians and pretend to be conservative right because they want those people to vote for them. Then when they get in office, they don't do the same thing. Same thing with the Democrats. They say they love black people, they love the poor, and they're socialistic leaning. But at the end of the day, they're in there to get fat. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when we look at the key factors that's caused this unfortunate rift between MAGA supporters and Trump. For me, number one is the Epstein files.
Yeah.
And the fact that Taylor Greene is leading it is, I think, what's causing, primarily for Trump as an individual, that's actually what I think is causing the worst part of the issues with him, more than the second part, which is foreign policy. When it comes to Taylor Greene specifically, I think everything else around why he's angry with Taylor Greene is white noise, but it's that in particular that he fears. Then also these government shutdowns and these economic issues, because the Republicans are perceived to control both houses, everyone seems to be blaming Trump and not the Democrats, saying that, if the Republicans were unified, they don't need the Democrats to end the shutdown. The reason they needed,
I think it's both sides. It was both sides.
Well, I think the reason they needed the Democrats to help end the shutdown was because the Republicans were not voting in line with Trump. Had they voted in line with them, they wouldn't have needed the Democrats.
But the Democrats capitulated, though. They gave up on their demands. Yeah.
Yes, which is so they both lost. I don't even know why they shouldn't have done that.
And here's the thing. Sorry to interrupt you, but I think that Trump is such a feudal lord that he didn't care if the government stays shut down because he's getting paid. And I think that's my main argument about Trump, is that he doesn't care about America. He cares about his family, his children, and his brother, his son-in-law, and his legacy. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and so when we look at the tensions between them, those public insults, calling her a traitor, and what did he call her, ranting lunatic? I mean, we know Trump does that sort of thing to everyone, but when he does it to Miss Blonde White American MAGA supporter, it really. And
can I add one thing? Everything she was saying was common sense. She's like, why does AIPAC control our government? And why are we doing business with al-Sharaa, who's a terrorist? If she's crazy, then I'm crazy too. And the Pope is crazy. the Pope
Yeah,
of the
and
world.
she's increasingly criticizing Trump over Gaza and
Yeah.
calling Gaza a genocide and questioning whether he's still committed to America First principles because of these international affairs that he's prioritizing.
Mm-hmm.
This her response that I refuse to be treated as a battered wife because of the way that
Brilliant.
Trump is very abusive towards other politicians. We saw how
Probably
he
towards his
dealt
own
with
wife. His own wife
Mohammed
doesn't even look like she likes him.
Zelensky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks it's cool, but it's actually not really. It's a lack of diplomacy, and it rubs off on other Americans, and then they
Yeah.
try the same thing. It
Kule,
doesn't work
Kule,
for
you're
them.
watching too much legacy media. He's helping Nigeria. I can't believe you are saying this shit. I can't believe
I
you are
can
saying
see
this.
on the faces of J.D. Vance and Michael Rubio
They are
and
very.
Jared Kushner. They seem to have. I can see it. They have this delusion that they think that the American people are as enamored with them as they are with Trump, and it's so far from it. These
No,
guys
that's it.
cannot win any kind of election. Let's be
Kule,
honest.
Kule,
They
Kule, let
might
me
be
give you an
strong in
example.
the party, but
What does
no
this
one's
hat
going to.
say?
They're horrible
MAGA, right?
personality.
Look at this.
Yeah.
What does this hat say? And even as I'm insulting Trump now, I like him. It shows you his charisma. I know he's bad, but they don't have it. JD Vance is a wannabe gay boy who's just. Have you seen the makeup he wears on his eyes? You know
No
who he
one
is.
would vote for them. No one.
No, fuck that.
But they believe that because they're Trump stooges that people like them and will vote for them for
When
that
Trump
reason.
leaves,
But
they're in
Americans
trouble.
don't think like that.
Yeah. That's why I
Yeah.
think Marjorie Taylor Greene should run for president because she's the only hope left for the Republican Party. I'm not saying in terms of her policy, but in terms of her charisma. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, in terms of charisma and policy, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene for the far right and for white America is the most palatable
Also for Black American men like me
candidate.
who love them little blonde ladies. We love
Yeah, and
her.
it wouldn't be that difficult for me to apply constant pressure on her from AIPAC and the Israeli lobbies to get her to sign the ticket. And like she said, she feels threatened because she knows that the elements that are threatening her are from the Israeli lobby. They're actually
Yeah.
because
But
she's actually challenging
trust me,
Gaza with,
they dare not make the mistake of doing anything to her. That will
yes, because
backfire.
any criticism of Israel is now seen as anti-Semitic. There's lots of false flags flying around. There's lots of accusations of Hamas trying to stage terrorist attacks in Europe and America,
Can you
and
imagine
Hamas
that
is
bullshit?
denying it. I saw it on AI, and they're saying that it's not plausible. That definitely Hamas is trying something, and all these things flying around make her very, very dangerous to the intentions of Israel in the war, and also because of the fact that she's complaining about what is going on domestically. This
Yeah.
money is going to funnel genocides, which she says, going to funnel wars in Ukraine, which we don't want. And then we've got crises at home, and that's not America first. And
Yeah.
that message resonates very powerfully. And
And
if
here's another
there's
thing about her.
somebody that can, yes,
Here's
if
another
there's
thing.
someone that can,
She's a servant of the people. She actually goes in her district and meets people. You know how like pastors of churches have to go meet all of their people in their church within a year. She does that
yes.
cycling, so she knows where her power comes from. And to be honest with you, I don't think she can be bought by AIPAC. I don't think she can.
No,
And
I don't think
I
she
hope that
can.
Mamdani can't be bought by AIPAC too, because to me, Mamdani and her are the future leaders. Also, Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are part of this movement. They're not politicians, but they're part of a new movement, and we want to see more people from the left. Because other than Mamdani, who else from the left is really coming out there vocally? What are your thoughts, Kunle? Yeah.
Yeah, isn't there that lady? Oh, the Muslim lady.
Oh yeah, it's Khalib. Yeah.
Yes. I
And
think
also
she's
the woman who's the head of the Green Party, Stein. Yeah.
yes, Jill Stein. So
Yeah.
the numbers are beginning to grow slowly and surely, and also a lot of celebrities are now beginning to support Palestine. More countries are beginning
Yeah,
to
but
boycott
those guys are
Israel.
just doing it because it's we are the world moment. I want some people who are
Yeah,
real, man.
I mean, it's safer to be on the side of popularity in this. You don't want to be the person that's defending the killing of women and children in horrific
That shit has to
numbers.
stop, man.
And it's not stopped. They still kill. The last time I switched on my telly, I saw 28 people killed in
And
one day.
you know what's making me angry? They keep talking about it like it's over. So now that there's been a ceasefire, no, what it is that they've just reduced the amount of people that are killing, but they're still consistently killing people.
And it's not even significantly. It's reduced from 100 to 30, from 100 a day to 30 a day. And that's what it's reduced to. I mean, it's still slaughtering them. And
That's
I've
still
noticed
20,000
that they've
people a year.
moved away. Western media has moved away from those stories because that's what they try to do when they try to hide a crime. The mainstream media moves away. But the problem is that social media is not moving away.
You know what the new story is? And the Westerners are more outraged. They are outraged that Trump is offering Putin a fair agreement. They're shouting more about that than they're shouting about Palestinians getting killed. Do you see how evil these people are?
Oh, it's an extremely disingenuous war that has absolutely no sympathy or support from the rest of the world. Is just watching this entire saga go on cynically. We've heard from experts like Jeffrey Sachs about the fact that what Ukraine is doing, they were not supposed to be doing in the first place. Half the countries that are now NATO countries are not supposed to be NATO countries in the first place, and we're actually seeing an uncovering of the propaganda around Cold War politics in Eastern Europe. Everybody tries to claim that they're defending themselves. And yet nobody actually, everybody claims they're defending themselves. Russia is accused of being an aggressor. Russia is saying that they're defending themselves, that they've been defending, and then they just lashed out now because they can't take anymore. And then the Western European propaganda machine kicks in, and then it starts threatening you. It's actually quite authoritarian now. It's become more authoritarian in Europe than even Nigeria, which that Nigeria was under Babangida.
You know what?
But they believe they're free.
If you speak out against the Ukraine war, you're the most evil person in the world. If you say that it has to end.
It's a grotesque contradiction in a democracy that you're not free to talk.
Oh yeah, well, it goes to show you that they're not driven by ideology. They're just hypocrites who are greedy, like Napoleon from Animal Farm. Let me give you an example. They're saying that Russia gets to keep the Donbass and Ukraine gets to keep the rest of it, and they're outraged. But they're not outraged that so much land has been taken from Palestine, which will never be returned. Do you see what I'm saying?
They invaded the West Bank. I mean, they've killed more people on the West Bank than were killed in October 7th. And they've gone into the West Bank, and then the West can't defend it. So what do the governments do? They say, oh, because you're attacking the West Bank, we're going to offer sanctions. But at the end of the day, they're going to let them keep going in, these occupied areas that don't belong to them. And the West will just say, oh, that's bad, that's bad. They can stop them, but they're not going to. And they're going to cry crocodile tears until they take over that entire region. They don't care.
No, they're fucked up. Fuck them. So we're heading out on that. So the last thought I have is that I'm not angry at Trump. I'm just laughing at Americans who continually think that these people, whether it's Trump or Obama or Mamdani or AOC or Bernie Sanders, are coming to help them. They're not coming to help you. They're promising to help you, but they're following either AIPAC or some other private agenda. Okay, take us out.
Yes, so we've been seeing now what dominates American politics. Doesn't matter whether you're left or right, racist, pro-gun, not pro-gun, just do not be influenced by AIPAC and you will be doing America a favor. That's the message that I'm giving to America.
And also don't vote for Arsenal.
Yes, well done, Arsenal. And from myself, Mustafa, we bid you goodbye, farewell, and adieu. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Okay, hold on, because I'm trying to